together that we may read out of the law and the prophets. Consider what we read, that we might consider that this is truly His word, especially when we look out upon the earth and see the things that's taking place upon the earth and understand that these things are taking place according to His word. Not according to what man thinks, but according to Yahweh's word. The man fail to understand one thing. Everybody works for Yahweh.
Praise God.
Man thinks he's doing something. The adversary even thinks that he's doing something. But everybody works for Yahweh.
Amen.
It was already written out before anything was created. So everything, like I said, works for Yahweh. But He left us these things so we can very well see the things that He's doing upon the earth, so that we can follow His lead and understand that truly this is Him that is doing this and not us ourselves. A lot of times we think that we ourselves are the ones that's doing this, because once we begin to learn the word, once we begin to learn this word, what we have a tendency of sometimes, what it has a tendency to do to us is make us judges. And then once we become judges, we find reasons not to do the things that has been sanctified that we should do as far as the work here in Atlanta is concerned. And these things should not be. That's the design of it. The design of it is to cause you from doing anything because now you think you know something. So now we think we are somebody. But these are things we have to be aware of simply because we're getting down to the latter days, the latter end, rather, of our deliverance out of this country. And if when you look out on the earth, you can right here in Atlanta, we can very well see that we got a great job to be done here in this city. And but as long as Yahweh gives most of us health and strength, we're going to try to make sure that this job gets done.
Amen.
Since 9/11, one of the key words in the media is terrorism. And its design is to motivate the masses of the people to be more concerned about their safety and well-being. The next word is security. That's something we have to be very, very careful of. To ensure the safety and the well-being of Americans, each citizen is assigned an identifying number at birth, and each immigrant is required to obtain this number, the Social Security number, in order to work, buy, or sell in this country. This is the number under which is filed school records, plastic money, and most of the legal transactions and business dealings that we do. As a matter of fact, when we go to the supermarkets now, they are giving us these discount cards and so forth and so on. All of that information goes into a central data bank that's controlled by the National Security Council. And what this does, when you add this to the many data banks that's scattered throughout the corporate structure, all the things we spend wealth for is recorded and tied to a face and a location. When this information is compiled and studied, it reveals our character and most of the info needed to discern whether we worship and serve the system or not. And when we get in Revelation 13, we can very well see that America and the nations is right on par with what the prophets say that they were going to do. The only thing we have to do is see how it's going to come about. Some of us speculate about ships and so forth and so on, which a lot of people are going to deal with. But the masses of the people are going to deal with numbers. And we receive, it's all right in this country here because we hadn't gotten out of this country yet. But once our people begin to get out of this country, once they begin to institute the name, number, and marker, we receive those things then truly we're going to be in big trouble. But Brother Steve Reedorf is of the church in the back, and understands that he may come in and suffer with us and us for him, that we may continue to read out of this legacy and consider what we read, because Yahweh truly is on the march.
I'm going to read the church articles beginning in 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. For the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man have received a gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim giveth, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yeshua HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearer. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim, for the anointed one's sake, have forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim as dear children, and walk in love, as the anointed one also have loved us, and have given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be one's name among you as become a saint. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks.
Amen.
Amen. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame, and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the church.
Amen. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the church. Like I said, when we see the things that the nations are doing, it's going to cause us some very serious problems. But what I thought I'd do today is we go in here and we're going to read the things that's going to take place if we go ahead and endure the things that these things are going to take place whether we do it, we got to do it now. But what I like to do is read some things that's going to take place once the Messiah set up his kingdom, so that people can make up their mind whether they want to deal with these things or not. You know how Jake is. Jake changes his mind from one day to another. It depends on the situation and circumstances. So what we're going to do, or what I like to do today, is I like to start our class in Isaiah chapter 24. Isaiah chapter 24. And Brother Steve, read verse 4 through verse... I'm sorry. Let's start in Isaiah chapter 34 and see what Yahweh had to say to the nations. Isaiah chapter 34. And pick that up at verse 1, my brother.
Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1. Come near, you nations, to hear, and hearken, you people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
It didn't say some of the nations, it said all of the nations, right? Well, that means it's on us too then, doesn't it? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
Now, he's not just talking, when he mentioned these animals here, he's not really talking about animals. He's talking about people that's upon this earth. But go ahead and read, brother.
He says, chapter 34, verse 7. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls. And their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing.
Amen.
And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be a habitation of dragons and a court for owls. The wild beast of the desert shall also meet with the wild beast of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellows. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find for herself a place to rest. There shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures be also gathered, every one with her mate. Seek you out of the book of Yahweh, and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And he hath cast the lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein.
Okay, my brother. So he talk about the destruction upon the nation and upon Idumea because of the controversy of Zion. But he's going to settle. Once the Messiah shows up, that controversy is going to be settled. Isaiah 24 and verse 4 through verse 23. He says chapter 24 and verse 4 through verse 23.
Verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws of Moshe, changed the ordinance given by the apostles, broken the Sabbath day. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left.
And when you talk about the changes that has been made, you know what your name becomes then. We become an offscouring of the people. We become hated of the nation simply because we tried to tell them the correct way of doing things, right? But the nations has changed these things, and our people had become so much. Once we became Gentiles, we don't want to hear nothing nobody else got to say except the Gentiles. Go ahead and read, brother.
He says, chapter 24, verse 7. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of taverns ceases, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the heart ceases.
Why? Because of the oppressing sword that's going to be up on the earth. Yahweh is visiting the earth. Y'all pay attention to the things that's going on around the earth. Look how many people he killed off over there in the land of Antichrist last week. Right here in this country, here it is in the dead of winter. You had first he gave us the fires and the mudslides. Now look what's happening. The Ohio River is overflowing again. It just did the same thing a couple of years ago. See, Yahweh is in the process of telling, watch the things that's happening around the earth, because he's in the process of telling people, let my people go. See, and he's in the process of telling us, you need to get your bonus together, because once the Holy Spirit is taken out of the way, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. Well, go ahead and read the book.
He says, chapter 24, verse 9. They shall not drink wine with the song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There's a cry for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaming grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty of Yahweh, they shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify you, Yahweh, in the fires, even the name of Yahweh Elohim of Israel in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the wonders from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when Yahweh of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his angels glorious.
Okay, my brother, go ahead up to chapter 28, verse 13. Started 25 and 1, but go up to 28 and 13.
Verse 1. O Yahweh, you are my Elohim. I will exalt thee. I will praise thy name. For thou hast done wonderful things. Thy counsel of old are faithfulness and truth. For thou hast made of a city an heap, of a defense city a ruin, a palace of strangers to be no city. It shall never be built. Therefore shall the strong people glorify thee. The city of the terrible nations shall fear thee.
Praise Yah.
For thou hast been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shelter from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall.
And this is why we are trying to keep ourselves together, so that when these things finally do come upon us, with the pressure that the nation is going to, with the power, rather, that the nations have against us, then we can very well see we're going to need Yahweh's protection from these things. We can believe what we want to. But you ain't gonna we ain't gonna slide under this one here. You're gonna either make it up front, or you're gonna be cast into the lake of fire. It's just gonna be that simple. See, Yahweh's played games. Well, he hasn't played games. We have played games with Yahweh since 1491 BCE. Was the time for all things to come to an end. Go ahead and read. But see, we being their children, being born up in the land of the free and the home of the brave, we have got to the position of where we're free enough to do what we want to do and brave enough to do anything that come into our mind. And this is what Yahweh's got to get rid of. See, we're quick to say, well, you know, what we need to do is we need to do this, and brothers need to do this, and brothers need to do that. Well, why don't you start? If you start, maybe somebody else will do it. But if we're going to come together and folks just going to sit up and say, well, we need to do this and we need to do that, and they ain't going to make no effort, then what's the sense of bringing it up? What is it being brought up for? Go ahead and read, brother.
Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 5. Thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible one shall be brought low. And in this mountain shall Yahweh of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the leaves, of fat things full of marrow, of wine on the leaves well refined. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
No more curse, right? Everybody gonna see eye to eye. Everybody's gonna know what the deal is once the Messiah returns. But go ahead and read it, brother.
Verse 8. He will swallow up death in victory, and the Adonai Elohim will take away tears from off all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from all the earth, for Yahweh hath spoken it. And it shall be said in that day, Lo, this is our Elohim. We have waited for him, and he will save us. This is Yahweh. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. For in this mountain shall the hand of Yahweh rest, and Moab shall be trodden down under him, even as straw is trodden down for the dunghill. And he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, as he that swimmeth spreadeth forth his hands to swim, and he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands. And the fortress of the high fort of your walls shall he bring down, lay low, and bring to the ground, even to the dust. And that day shall this song be sung in the land of Yehudah. We have a strong city. Salvation will Elohim apart for walls and bulwarks. Open you the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee.
You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you. A lot of times we don't have our mind stayed upon the Creator. We have our mind stayed upon the faults and shortcomings of other people, right? Don't you know, vain man, that it's Yahweh that instilled that in that person? Huh? But why did he instill it in there? So that he can raise people up that will go and pull that out. But see, you catch bees with nectar, not with a stick. See, you can't use the law and go and jump on somebody's head with the law, but the first thing he's going to do is throw up a shield of defense. Then you got a bigger enemy, haven't you? So you haven't done any good whatsoever, have you? Okay. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 4. Trust you in Yahweh forever, for in the Adonai Yahweh is everlasting strength.
Right, trust in Yahweh. Trust Yahweh that he's going to take care of his business. What you do, somebody calls you a problem or something, what you do is this. Say, well, Yahweh judge between me and you. If they cause you a problem. But if they sin against God, you need to keep your mouth out of that. Because you ain't got nothing to do with that. You have to learn how to draw the line between the things that happen between natural people and the things that happen between a person and his Creator. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 5. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high, the lofty city, he layeth it low. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it even to the dust. The foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness. Thou, most upright, doth weigh the path of the just. Yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Yahweh, how we waited for thee. The desire of our soul is to your name and to the remembrance of thee. With my soul have I desired thee in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek you early. For when your judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. Yahweh, when your hand is lifted up, they will not see.
Listen to that. Listen to that. Out of all the studying and everything the folks do, Yahweh, when your hand is lifted up in any situation, they ain't gonna see. You know why? Man is looking at what he feels inside. See? That's what man is thinking about. Man is not looking at his brother man and saying, well, okay, so my brother or my sister got a problem. What I need to do is I need to pray about this thing here and then see what Yahweh gonna do about it. See? Because we can't do nothing but get in trouble. Go ahead and read, brother.
But they shall see and be ashamed for their envy at the people. Yea, the fire of your enemies shall devour them.
Praise Yah.
Verse 12. Yahweh, you will ordain peace for us, for you also have wrought all our works in us.
And that's what it's all about, peace. That's what it's all about, peace. But if we always join at each other, causing each other a problem, then what are we doing? We're separating ourselves from peace then, aren't we? Well, then that's sin to us, isn't it? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13. O Yahweh, our Elohim, other Adonais beside thee have had dominions over us, but by thee only will we make mention of thy name. They are dead, they shall not live. They are deceased, they shall not rise. Therefore have you visited and destroyed them, and made all their memory to perish. Thou hast increased the nation, O Yahweh. Thou hast increased the nation. Thou art glorified. Thou hast removed it far unto all the ends of the earth. Yahweh, in trouble have they visited you. They poured out a prayer when your chastening was upon you.
Lord, save me. Save me, Lord. I did this, I've been a good servant, and I've been doing this, and I did that, and I never said the devil is doing this to me, allowing somebody else to do this to me. Save me, Yahweh. Save me, Yahweh. Did you save your brother?
You just mentioned one nation. Is that the nation of Israel? When he said, you have increased the nation.
Talking about the nation of Israel there, brother.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, the nation of Israel. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't say nations plural. He's talking about the nation of Israel. What we read first was the nation, the message to the nations. Now we're reading the things, the message to Israel, both natural Israel and the seed of Israel, and whoever grab onto us that will be called spiritual Israel. Yeah. But go ahead and read, Steve.
Verse 16. Yahweh, in trouble have they visited you. They poured out a prayer when your chastening was upon them. Verse 17. Like as a woman with child that draweth near the time of her delivery is in pain, and crieth out in her pains, so have we been in your sight, O Yahweh. We have been with child. We have been in pain. We have, as it were, brought forth wind. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen.
So we see that our charge is to do what? To bring deliverance in the earth, right? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 19. Your dead men shall live. Together with my dead body shall they arise. Awake and sing, you that dwell in dust, for your dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. Come, my people, enter you into your chambers, and shut your doors about you. Hide yourself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. For, behold, Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain.
And if he comes out to, and it says verse 21, for behold, Yahweh comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. That includes us, we inhabitants of the earth. He say he going to rule over us with his fury poured out, didn't he? Why? Because we won't get our act together, see. We got too many other priorities. Go ahead and read, brother. Jake think he's somebody. That's what the whole deal is. And especially since Jake know that he got a handle with God. Boy, he think he's somebody now. Now he read the law to you, and every time you make a left turn, and he think you're supposed to turn right. Man, the brothers need to get together. For what? That brother over there made the left turn. Go over there and tell him, say, brother, you made the wrong turn. That's what you got to do. Why involve everybody else with that garbage? Don't nobody else need to know he made a left turn. Go ahead and read, brother.
Each class that I had choose tonight, I had a brother trying to tell me about the name. Doesn't really matter, that, Yahweh is his name, but people want to say, well, what's really matter, the name or the commandments? But I'm able to ask some scriptures to show them that you still have to call upon a name. So one brother was saying, the name is actually authority, but a name carry authority.
Well, there's no sense in keeping the commandments if you don't know the name. Huh? How can you serve a God don't know his name? See? Ain't no sense in doing nothing if you don't know his name. That's why you were taught his name when you first come in. You were taught his name. Folks were saying Yahweh this, Yahweh that. Of course, other folks like to, get off on other things, but that's what you've been taught. You've been taught his name, because if you don't know his name, you'll never know his word. See? How can you not know his name and claim you got his spirit, and it's spirit that causes you to walk in the law? See, that's why niggas get upset and have problems among each other. You know why? They don't deal with the spirit. What they deal with is this. They deal with the naturalness of the word. You see, so when brothers come up to you with that kind of stuff, brother, I let them know. You can't separate Yahweh from his word. If you don't know his name, then truly you don't know his word. You see? And when you get to talk about commandments to them same folks, you're going to find out one thing. Number one, half of them don't really know who they are. And most of them don't even know which law we have to deal with. See? I had a brother come up the other week and bring me a bottle of wine and a can of fruit because somebody had healed something. He say somebody had healed something in his family. See? We ain't got to do that thing no more, man. See, all that was taken out of the way. But it just goes to show you that people are quick to jump off into your stuff, and their stuff is already raggedy. When you're looking at it, when they come to you, it's raggedy already. That's why I tell man, get out of my face. I don't want to hear that jump. See? Yeah, go ahead.
When folks, people of the world don't know the name of Yahweh, that's still a sin, but it's a sin of ignorance.
Of course it is. All ignorance is sin. And if you don't know your Creator's name, brother, you're in big trouble. When you go around and say he has many names, no, he doesn't. If you don't know his name, you're in big trouble.
That's just like naturally. When children don't know their daddy's name, they just as confused and ignorant.
Of course they are.
They just...
Get in them families with one parent, they be talking about, mama, who my daddy?
Who daddy, who daddy?
Yeah. Who is daddy? See? Well, who is that girl over there, daddy?
Don't the scriptures also says, Brother Saul, who said that be Lord's meaning God's meaning? You definitely got to know who you're praying to when you make supplications then, right?
Of course. You can't just get out and say, Lord. They're Lord's meaning.
Right.
Lucifer is the Lord.
Right.
So when you just say, look, that's why I tell people, I say, you know what? It's a whole lot of prayers that people make that don't nobody hear but whoever's in that room. Go ahead now, read, Steve.
Yes, sir. Verse, Ezekiel chapter 27, verse 1. In that day, Yahweh with his sword and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent. And he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea.
Praise Yah.
In that day sing you unto her a vineyard of red wine. I, Yahweh, do keep it. I will water it every moment. Least any hurt it, I will keep it night and day.
And that's what Yahweh's been doing to y'all that's been faithful. He's been watering you every time you come to the sanctuary. He wake you up in the morning trying to water you. But see, what we do a lot of time, we get caught up into so many other things that when we wake up in the morning, the first thing we think about is our jobs or this bill here we got to pay or something else. When we should get up, when the first thing you do when you get up in the morning, give thanks for you being raised up that morning, giving you health and strength to go on your journey. But we'll say, well, I do that on the Sabbath day or when I get time. Suppose Yahweh came to us when he got time. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 4. Fury is not in me. Who would set the briars and thorns against me in battle? I would go through them. I would burn them together. Or let him take hold of my strength, that he may make peace with me, and he shall make peace with me.
And that means you're going to have to make, whoever it is going to have to make, we're going to have to make peace with each other then, don't we? How can we make peace with our God and we haven't got peace among ourselves? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6. He shall cause them that come of Jacob to take root. Israel shall blossom and bud and fill the face of the world with fruit.
Amen.
Has he smitten him as he smote those that smote him? Or is he slain according to the slaughter of them that are slain by him? In measure when it shooteth forth, you will debate with it. He stabbed his rough wind in the day of the east wind. By this, therefore, shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged.
Right, because I don't kid you off. That's what's going to purge your iniquity. See? But what we'll do, we'll commit our atrocities against God, right? And we quick to fall down and ask for forgiveness, right? Let somebody do something against us. See? Jake will forgive them white folks. He'll forgive Julio. He'll forgive everybody but you. Jake going to keep something in his car against you. You know why? He hates you. The scripture say, love you one another. But I tell you what you do. You check brothers and sisters' works. And that'll tell you where the heart is. Go ahead and read it.
Time up in here in Georgia, I found out you can't speak evil of Mr. Charlie to some of these, to Jake sometimes.
Jake will break your neck.
You sure will. But you can talk all day long about your brothers and sisters.
Right. And Jake will come jump on you with your brothers and sisters. But he's quick to forgive somebody. You do one little thing against him, brother. And guess what? He'll hold that grudge forever. Then how can there be peace? How can there be peace between you? Now you got the adversary of the devil between you, haven't you?
I had this co-worker of mine, this white lady. She went around and told the kids my former name. And I jumped off into her stuff about that. I said, I really don't appreciate that. They don't have anything you used to know but my former name. I'm Mr. Israel to them. That's all they need to know. So now they run around and try to tease me about my name, but I ignore them. I walked up to her one day and I said, thank you, Miss Blackburn. She said, what, Mr. Israel? I said, all of them are harassing me now because you told them that information. You know, I said what I need to say. When I see her, I speak and go on. I don't hold any grudge against her. But she stopped speaking to me now.
Well, you know, that's people are like that, brother. People have something they think that they got on you that they can use. They can't wait to throw it out in front of somebody. And they pick the right people to put it in front of. You see, that way it'll stir up to a whole lot of mess about nothing, man. About actually nothing. Most of the things that we get off into, you know what it's about? Nothing. Most of the problem brothers and sisters have with each other, it's about nothing. You stepped on my toe. Big deal. Who told you not stepped on? Look at all the sin that you've committed all your life against your Creator, and then you worried about whether somebody stepped on your toe or not. They should have cut your foot off. Go on and read it, Steve.
Isaiah chapter 27, verse 9. By this, therefore, shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged, and this is all the fruit to take away his sin. When he maketh all the stones of the altars as chalk stones that are beaten in sunder, the groves and images shall not stand up. Yet the defenced city shall be desolate, and the habitation forsaken, and left like a wilderness. There shall the calf feed, and there shall he lie down, and consume the branches thereof. When the boughs thereof are withered, they shall be broken off. The women come and set them on fire. For it is a people of no understanding. Therefore he that made them will not have mercy on them, and he that formed them will show them no favor. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall beat off from the channel of the river unto the stream of Egypt, and you shall be gathered one by one, O you children of Israel. And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown, and they shall come which were ready to perish in the land of Assyria, and the outcasts in the land of Egypt, and shall worship Yahweh in the holy mount at Jerusalem. Woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which on the head of the fat valleys of them that are overcome with wine. Behold, Yahweh have a mighty and a strong one, which as a tempest of hell and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. The crown of pride, the drunkards of Ephraim, shall be trodden under feet. And the glorious beauty, which is on the head of the fat valley, shall be a fading flower, and as the hasting fruit before the summer, which when he that looketh upon it seeth, while it is yet in his hand, he eateth it up.
Right. I bet you then we'll learn about that anger management and them problems that we have about not forgiving folks. I bet you we'll learn about it then. Just wait till just wait. These problems we got, and I keep saying this over and over and over, you believe what you want to. These are problems we got. If we don't get rid of them, guess what? You're going to end up in that great tribulation. I bet you one thing, every day of your life, every minute of your life, you're going to wish that you would have did what you were supposed to do when you had a chance to do it. And you're going to earn it. Huh?
Yeah, I hear you saying things about anger management. I just want to go to it on a natural level with them Europeans. You know, we got a brother out on, European white boy on the job, right? He beats on his wife, right? That is automatic ground for dismissal, right? Because if he carry it out at home, he's going to do it on the job, right? But they send him to school, to anger management class, right? Got a European out on the job. She hit a truck and hit somebody and ran, right? And the brother came and got her, and she went before Clayton County, before this judge, that her son got hit by a drunk driver and killed, and she was drunk. They put her on probation. This shows how the Europeans treat each other.
Of course.
They know how to show that mercy. They have that mercy to one another.
Of course they do, brother. They open their hand wide to each other. See, it's us that don't do it. You know why? We think, some of us think, I'm so much better than you are. You did me wrong. Like it's the first damn time you ever been done wrong in your life. See? We have to learn these things, brother. And the best way to learn these is learn the law. If you learn the law and walk in the spirit, you can anger management, well, you would have no problem with it. None whatsoever. You know what I do when somebody tick me off? I say, okay, brother, go about my business. You never know I'm mad. And then, you know what I go do with it then? I put it on Yahweh's altar and say, you judge this situation. I'm through with that, man. And with that brother or that sister, I'm over to them. What we going to get done now? Go ahead and read, man.
Verse 5. In that day shall Yahweh of hosts be for a crown of glory, and for a diadem of beauty unto the residue of his people, and for a spirit of judgment to him that sitteth in judgment, and for strength to them that turn the battle to the gate.
So he's talking about the master pertaining to judgment, and Judah that turns the battle at the gate, right? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 7. But they also have erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith you may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing. Yet they will not hear.
No, I understand that, but I still got this I want to do. And I still feel like that. Right. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 13. But the word of Yahweh was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little,
that they might go and be fall and fall and be taken and be snared in that pit, right? Bind up the testimony and seal the law among my disciples. You know why? The disciples ain't going to deal with folks on that law thing. What the disciples going to do is teach you Yahweh's word. That law, that's between you and him. Yeah. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 14. Wherefore, hear the word of Yahweh, you scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem. Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
Yeah, we're going to be saved with the rest of the folks, man. Right. Yahweh said, I'm going to judge between cattle and cattle. I'm going to judge between the fat cattle and the lean cattle. If you sow much, you'll reap much. But if you don't sow at all, how can you expect to reap? And we got folks who come in here in a minute, don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. But every time you see them, well, I think, wait a minute, be quiet. Just be quiet. Let the folks that's doing it. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 16. Therefore, thus says Yahweh Elohim, behold, I lay in Judah for a foundation of stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste.
Praise Yah.
Judgment also will I lay to the land, and righteousness to the plummet. And the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then you shall be trodden down by it. From the time that it goeth forth, it shall take you. For morning by morning shall it pass over, by day and by night. And it shall be a vexation only to understand the report.
Right, just wait. He's talking about what the things going to take place in this great tribulation period, and y'all can see, we are headed for something. We are headed for something. You heard what your president just said, didn't you? About making these illegal aliens legal if they got a job. Man, there's 30 million of them in here that got a job. They talking about it ain't but 8. See? There's 30 million of them here got a job. You see what that's doing to Jake? That's putting us in bad shape, isn't it? Yet still, we got time. Instead of us, if you want to fight, why don't you go fight George Bush? Why don't you go jump on Julio and run him out the country? He's the one taking your job. But now what we want to do, we like to stir up stuff with each other.
He's in Paulo, so looks like you got a house and you're lying to cut the lawn. Mind that, and then you tell a brother to cut the lawn, he charge you $40. Next month, it's $20, you can get the man to charge $20. I'm sure that's when you get your whole life, you do what you want. Curse upon us. You do what you want, they have what you want.
Right. Brother, when I was a young man, you know who did all the immigrant work? We did. We did all the immigrant work, bro. I mean, folks used to leave the South and go north and work during the summer because there wasn't too much to do in the South during the summer. They go north and work and do the harvesting in the north and go back in the South and do the winter and the fall and winter harvesting in the South, right? But then we saw the bright lights in the big cities. So that's what we did. Like that boy Johnny Lee Hooker said, bright lights, big city, went to my baby's head. And brother, that kind of work we got by living among the nations. Our cost of living accelerated so much, brother, and we got so much education, we can't pick beans no more. They can tell all the Mexicans in the world, get out the country, we putting y'all out. And guess what? There'll never be nothing grown out in the farm. You starve to death. You know why? Jake has got too much pride to do menial work. Man come in and offer Julio a job, say, I got this job here paying, I'm going to pay you $7 an hour. Jake say, I can't work for that. Yeah, right. Walk around broke. See? trying to get some from here, stealing on the left hand, stealing on the right hand, getting whatever the family can give them and so forth and so on. Walking around broke. Why? Because he got too much damn pride to take a job that doesn't pay what according to his expectation. When I got my family to feed, I don't give a damn if I have to go out there and pick up cigarette butts and sell them, brother. If that's what it takes. My family going to eat. It's better to do that than to end up in jail trying to knock somebody in the head and take it, isn't it? Okay.
You know, brother, you're talking about the contribution that we used to make in the job we used to take. Every month I go to Emory University for a seminar on world issues, world history. And this white boy, the instructor, was saying that about 15 or 20 years ago, they commissioned some group to do a study on the contribution that various ethnic groups have made in the Atlanta area.
Mm-hmm.
So they came back to the table and they said they were sorry they couldn't find any contribution that during the Civil War, they couldn't find any contribution that the blacks had made to the improvement of Atlanta. And he said he was in the meeting, so he got up and he said, wait a minute, hold, let me make your different. He said, it was the black who built the forts.
Mm-hmm.
And you mean to tell me that he went on with a whole list of things that the blacks had done to make, they were talking about other important things besides the thing that was really important, because if they hadn't had the fort, more people would have been killed than that. And so I told him, I said, you have to be commended for having the courage to stand up in the meeting and say that, and on behalf of, he was saying African American, I said on black people. I said, because after all, I said there was Armstrong long before there was GE.
Right.
Right. They showed this picture of this black guy, what it's called, O. Henry.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Armstrong then. We did all of the work
Mm-hmm.
long before the electric thing came along.
Mm-hmm.
So it was only right that to say that blacks actually built these forts and built the trenches and things like that.
Brother, you'd be surprised the contributions that our people made to this country. The wealth of this country was formed on our backs. People just don't want to give us the credit for those things. You know why? Because we're nobody, man. We don't have nobody to represent us. Anytime you haven't got anybody to represent you, you're in big trouble. You can go to a big business meeting. Everybody got a lawyer but you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And that's what it is. Everybody is represented on the earth but us. Nobody, John Lewis and Jesse Jackson and all them niggas we done put in office and we pay to go around and lecture, those folks do not speak for us. They speak for Americans. You know why? They are Americans now. Right? Right. They got the civil rights movement made them, adopted them as Gentiles. So what did they do? They pull us along because they're getting paid from us, right? But you know whose pocket they're in? Our politicians is in the pocket of the Gentiles. You can believe that when these big suits and so forth go down, who you think get paid? Them politicians. See? Them brothers like, with that long hair brother named Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and all them folks. Them the folks get paid. See? We don't get nothing. They get paid. Why?
About Al Sharpton stayed in some motel and they paid $3,000 a night. They were talking about he didn't disclose all his financial records, and they had him up on that. Somebody had made contribution for him. He spent $3,000 a night staying in somebody's motel.
And he don't represent nobody but Al Sharpton.
Won't even get his hair cut.
Right. Go ahead and finish up. No, he done kind of pulled it back now that he's running for president. That's about it. Once he come down in the neighborhood, he looked like he missed Al Sharpton from the back. But go ahead and read, Steve.
Ezekiel chapter 28, verse.
But did you hear what the brother said about homosexuality? Huh? He said he don't see nothing wrong with it.
Al Sharpton.
He said, I don't see anything wrong with two men marrying. Two men living together, that's what he said. Two men living together.
See, that's an acceptable thing now, so he got to say what's popular.
It's politically correct for two men to live together. It's politically correct for two men to get married. Check that out. Go ahead and read, brother. It just lets you know the sickness that's upon the nation because we are out of pocket. We're the cause for all these things that are going up on the earth. If our fathers would have did what they were supposed to do when they came out of Egypt, we wouldn't have had this to worry about. Go ahead and read, brother.
He says, chapter 28, verse 20. For the bed is shorter than that a man can stretch himself on it, and the covering narrow than that he can wrap himself in it. For Yahweh shall rise up as in Mount Perazim, he shall be rough as in the valley of Gibeon, that he may do his work, his strange work, and bring to pass his act, his strange act. Now therefore be not you mockers, lest your bands be made strong. For I have heard from the Adonai Elohim of hosts a consumption even determined upon the whole earth.
Okay, my brother. Okay,
I
I really don't want to go no further than that. Chapter 29, in verse 13 through verse 24.
Verse 13. Wherefore Yahweh said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men, therefore behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. But shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest? And in that day shall the deep hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. The meek also shall increase their joy in Yahweh, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender, for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the jest for a thing of naught.
Verse 20 says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of nothing. Vanity of vanity, said the preacher. All is vanity, brother. Yeah, go ahead and read. Right.
Justify the wicked. You name an abomination.
That's why when folks come up to me with that garbage, man, I say, whatever. And go on about my business. See, I ain't got time for that, that casting stones and all that stuff. I ain't got time for that, brother. You know why? That's all we can do. Only thing we can do is accuse, right? Because if you don't mete out the right judgment, then you got a bigger problem, because now you done sinned against your brother.
Verse 22. Therefore thus says Yahweh, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob, Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face now wax pale. But when he sees his children, the work of mine hands, in the midst of him, they shall sanctify my name, and sanctify the Holy One of Jacob, and shall fear the Elohim of Israel. They also that erred in spirit shall come to understanding, and they that murmured shall learn doctrine.
Right, like Yahweh said, you let me take care of my business, you just take care of the part that I told you to take care of. Chapter 30, in verse 18 through verse 33, brother. Chapter 30, in verse 18 through verse 33.
Verse 18. And therefore will Yahweh wait, that he may be gracious unto you. And therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. For Yahweh is a Elohim of judgment. Blessed are all that wait for him. For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. thou shalt weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer you. And though the Adonai give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not your teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but your eyes shall see your teachers.
Amen.
And your ears shall hear word behind you saying, this is the way, walk you in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left.
And we're going to see what folks are going to do then. See, folks don't want to listen to the teachers that they're sending out today. A lot of folks don't, because they're men just like they are, right? We're going to see when these angels start doing it. These things, these people that got this eternal life, we're going to see what's going to happen when you do that. Because once you get in that kingdom, you know what your deal is. You can't say, Lucifer made me do nothing. You're going to be doing it because that's what's in your wicked heart, and you're going to get slain for it. Cut, no problem. Go ahead and read, brother.
Shabbat shalom, Sister Shalom. We had Isaiah chapter 30, verse 22. You shall defile also the covering of your graven images of silver and the ornaments of your molten images of gold. Thou shalt cast them away as a minstrel's cloth. Thou shalt say unto it, get thee hence. Then shall he give the rain of thy seed, that you shall sow the ground withal, and the bread of increase of the increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and plenteous. In that day shall your cattle feed in large pastures. The oxen likewise and the young asses that ear the ground shall eat clean provender, which have been winnowed with the shovel and with the fan.
Okay, my brother, I don't want to go no further than that. Now let's go into chapter 30. No, let's go into chapter 41. 41 and verse 8 through 43:21. 41 and verse 8 through chapter 43 and verse 21. The reason why we reading all this stuff out the prophets, because the Spirit didn't bring me nothing this week. So we're going to deal with this. Like the scripture said, no man has the power to retain the Spirit. And the Spirit does not always dwell with man. So what you have to do is you have to rely on what Yahweh has already given you and hope it works. Yeah. If I turn it toward me, it'll be like this. If I turn it like that, it needs to be right there. And it can't go right there. I'll hold it. That's all it is.
No, sir.
Can you hear it now? Okay. Well, I'll hold it, Mike.
Can you hear it now? I hear you, brother.
Yeah, I guess I can put it up here, but it'll be in my way a little bit. No, the podium is nailed down, brother. They had to nail the podium down because if they didn't screw it down, I'm just trying to get up here, be standing here. The Spirit ain't gave me nothing. And I went to sleep. All over there and everything here be burning up. So I'm going to leave that alone, bro. I'm going to put it right there. No, I can't have it.
Ezekiel chapter 41, verse 8. But you, Israel, are my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. You, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called you from the chief men thereof, and said unto you, you are my servant. I have chosen you, and not cast you away. Fear thou not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your Elohim. I will strengthen you, yea, I will help you, yea, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness.
Praise Yah. That's the master then, right? This is why the Messiah said, no man can come to the Father except by me. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 11. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with you shall perish. Thou shalt seek them, and shall not find them, even them that contended with you. They that war against you shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught.
That's why we have to be very, very careful and strive that we don't allow these things here to come up between us. See, these strivings and so forth about. And usually when we have strivings, what are they about? Somebody's personal feelings. That's all they got to do with somebody's personal feelings. It ain't never got nothing to do with things that mean something. It has to do with how this person feel about this and how that person feel about that. Like, who cares?
Personal interpretation.
Right. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 13. For I, Yahweh, your Elohim, will hold your right hand, saying unto you, fear not, I will help you. You want to read that next verse, brother?
No.
You don't? Okay. Fear not, thou worm, Yaakov.
Ain't your name Israel too?
Right.
Okay. Go ahead, brother.
And you men of Israel, I will help you, says Yahweh, and your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make you a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff.
That's what we're in the process of doing now. All these mountains that's all around here on every street corner, and them little high hills that's in all these little shopping centers and so forth, that's what we're in the process of doing now. Threshing them down to the ground. See, we're in the process of going in among them, dealing with their members, getting those who have the ear to hear out from among them before they be destroyed. See, this is why I tell brothers, visit other camps. Go visit other people to see what's going on. Just be careful how you hear, what you hear. That's all you got to do.
Deuteronomy 7, he said, when you go to the nations, don't make a covenant, but destroy the altars, the booths, cut off the beams of the kings, everything.
Right.
Right. The same thing you really get.
Right. We do that with the word. We destroy, we don't go and destroy the physical thing that's set up. What we do is we destroy the spiritual altars and everything that's been set up in their minds, you see. But let's not get high-minded when we deal with these things, because we are only the vessels that's being used. This is why you have to be very, very careful how you approach a person with this word. I've seen people come into the door right there, and folks ask them, say, well, where you come from? Well, I came, so you worship Satan. That's the worst thing in the world to tell a person. Let them come in, they're fine. Let them sit in that seat there long enough, and they'll know they was worshiping the adversary. You do your job of getting them in here. Once they get in here, leave them alone. I'll take over, and I'll do my job.
Very well, when Paul said, for the weapons of war are not carnal, but spiritual. So you come against the doctrine of the accuser of calling you terrorists everywhere.
Yeah, of course. That's what we expect, brother. We expect to be the offscouring of the world simply because we hold the truth in the word of God. We expect that, you know. And if anybody here don't, if you expect for your life to be smooth sailing with what you're dealing with, you need to get out of here. Because you're in for a big surprise. Because when them Gentiles come, they're gonna come, and it ain't gonna be no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You know why? You know who you are. They got your number. Okay.
Verse Isaiah chapter 41, verse 16. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in Yahweh, and shall glory in the Holy One of Israel.
Praise Yah.
When the poor need to seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, Yahweh, will hear them. I, the Elohim of Israel, will not forsake them. I will open rivers in high places, and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of waters. I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittim tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree, and the pine, and the box tree together, that they may see, and know, and consider, and understand together that the hand of Yahweh have done this, and the Holy One of Israel have created it. Produce your cause, says Yahweh. Bring forth your strong reasons, says the King of Yaakov. Let them bring them forth, and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things, what they be, that we may consider them, and know that life to end of them are declared things for to come. Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that you are Elohims. Yea, do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together. chooses you. I have raised up one from the north, and he shall come. From the rising of the sun shall he call upon my name. And he shall come upon princes as upon mortar, and as the potter treadeth clay. Who have declared from the beginning that we may know, and before time that we may say he is righteous. Yea, there is none that showeth. Yea, there is none that declareth. Yea, there is none that heareth your words. The first shall say to Zion, Behold, behold them. And I will give to Jerusalem one that bringeth good tidings. For I beheld, and there was no man, even among them, and there was no counselor, that when I asked of them, could answer a word. Behold, they are all vanity. Their works are nothing. Their molten images are wind and confusion. Behold my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Euro-Gentiles. He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail, nor be discouraged, till he have set judgment in the earth, and the owl shall wait for his law. Thus says Elohim the Adonai, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth and that which cometh out of it, he that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and spirit to them that walk therein. I, Yahweh, have called you in righteousness, and will hold your hand, and will keep you, and give you for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Euro-Gentiles, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. I am Yahweh, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them.
And ever since you first started coming to church, he's been telling you things that was going to take place, So you can't say, well, I knew that.
It's a producer cause.
Right.
All about marriage.
Right. Any cause that we had, he said, produce it. Produce it. You know, because you got problems too, buddy. Yeah, so you produce your cause. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 10. Sing unto Yahweh a new song, and his praise from the end of the earth. You that go down to the sea, and all that is therein, the isles and the inhabitants thereof. Let the wilderness and the cities thereof lift up their voice, the villages that Kedoth doth inhabit. Let the inhabitants of the rock sing, let them shout from the top of the mountains. Let them give glory unto Yahweh, and declare his praise in the islands. Yahweh shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time held my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills, and dry up all their herbs. And I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools. And I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight.
Praise Yah.
These things will I do unto them, and not forsake them.
Praise Yah.
They shall be turned back. They shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images, that say to the molten images, you are our gods. Hear, you deaf, and look, you blind, that you may see. Who is blind but my servant? Or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as Yahweh's servant? Seeing many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not. Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Yaakov for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not Yahweh he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger, and the strength of battle. And it hath set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
Didn't even, excuse me, didn't even see with all the knowledge and understanding that Jake had, didn't even see when Yahweh had gave him up to the curse. Go ahead, brother.
Ezekiel chapter 43, verse 1. But now, thus says Yahweh that created thee, O Yaakov, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. For I am Yahweh, thy Elohim, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for thee. Since you were precious in my sight, you have been honorable, and I have loved you. Therefore will I give men for you and people for your life. Fear not, for I am with you. I will bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth, even everyone that is called by my name. For I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. Bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified, or let them hear and say it is true. You are my witnesses, says Yahweh, and my servant whom I have chosen, that you may know and believe me and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. Even I am Yahweh, and beside me there is no Savior. I have declared and have saved, and I have showed when there was no strange God among you. Therefore you are my witnesses, says Yahweh, that I am Elohim. Yea, before the day was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? Thus says Yahweh, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake I have sent to America, and have brought down all their nobles and the Aryans whose cry is in the ships. I am Yahweh, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. Thus says Yahweh, which maketh a way in the sea, and a path in the mighty waters, which bringeth forth the chariot and horse, the army and the power. They shall lie down together. They shall not rise. They are extinct. They are quenched as told. Remember you not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now shall it spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise.
Okay, my brother, chapter 44 and verse 1 through verse 26. And when you look at it, brother, he is giving up people for our lives. You look at the nations he's going to kill off just in the process of saving Israel. like I said, the slain of Yahweh is going to be from one end of the earth to the other. And all of the things on the earth was given in the hands of man because Israel didn't do what they were supposed to do. You see, so now what Yahweh is in the process of doing is degrading his people to the position to the place to where they will have to call on him for survival. See, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. Wait. Just wait.
Back in the time of Egypt,
And it's going to get a redemption this time, brother. But the thing, like I said before, what Yahweh has to do to us, man, and it's bad, it's bad for us that it has to be done because we're the ones that are going to suffer. He has to put us in a position, brother, where we don't have no way out but to call on his holy name. Then that's when he'll hear. And then it's going to be some of us, we're going to get put in that position and going to call on his name, but we haven't done anything before that. We don't have no works to be done.
Because the mother's people was hard and very and hardship coming in.
They're going to be in big trouble, ain't they? Because they've been sitting up on their knees, having a wine, well refined, not to worry about the bills being paid and so forth and so on. Y'all we're going to deal with it. Yeah, we're going to deal with it, brother. Go ahead and finish up, Steve.
It says, chapter 44, verse 1. Yet now hear, O Yaakov, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus says Yahweh that made thee, and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Yaakov, my servant, and thou, Yeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon your seed, and my blessing upon your offspring, and they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. One shall say, I am Yahweh's, and another shall call himself by the name of Yaakov, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto Yahweh, and surname himself by the name of Israel. Thus says Yahweh, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts. I am the first, and I am the last, and beside me there is no Elohim. And who, as I shall call, and shall declare it, and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people. And the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them.
Amen.
Fear you not, neither be afraid. Have not I told you from that time, and have declared it? You are even my witnesses. Is there a Elohim beside me? Yea, there is no Elohim. I know not any. They that make a graven image, are all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit. And they are their own witnesses. They see not, nor know, that they may be ashamed. Who have formed a god, or molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing? Behold, all his fellows shall be ashamed, and the workmen, they are of men. Let them all be gathered together, let them stand up, yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together. The blacksmith with the tongs both worketh in the coals, and fashioneth it with hammers, and worketh it with the strength of his arms. Yea, he is hungry, and his strength faileth. He drinketh no water, and is faint.
Verse 18.
They have not known nor understood, for he hath shut their eyes that they cannot see, and their hearts that they cannot understand. And none considereth in his heart, neither is there knowledge nor understanding to say, I have burned part of it in the fire, yea, also I have baked bread upon the coals thereof, I have roasted flesh and eaten it, and shall I make the residue thereof an abomination? Shall I fall down to the stalk of a tree? He feedeth on ashes. A deceived heart have turned him aside, that he cannot deliver his soul, nor say, is there not a lie in my right hand? Remember these, O Yaakov and Israel, for you are my servant. I have formed you. You are my servant. O Israel, you shall not be forgotten of me. I have blotted out, as a thick cloud, your transgressions, and as a cloud, your sins. Return unto me, for I have redeemed you. Sing, O you heavens, for Yahweh hath done it. Shout, you lower parts of the earth. Break forth into singing, you mountains, O forests, and every tree therein. For Yahweh hath redeemed Jacob, and glorified himself in Israel. Thus says Yahweh, your Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am Yahweh that maketh all things, that stretches forth the heavens along, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, that frustrateth the tokens of the liars, and maketh diviners mad, that turneth wise men backward, and maketh their knowledge foolish, that confirmeth the word of his servant, and performeth the counsel of his messengers, that says to Jerusalem, you shall be inhabited, and to the cities of Yehuda, you shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof.
Okay, my brother. Chapter 45 and verse 5 through 46 and 13. 45 and 5 through 46 and 13.
I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no Elohim beside me. I girded thee, though you have not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. Drop down, you heavens, from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness. Let the earth open, and let them bring forth salvation, and let righteousness spring up together. I, Yahweh, have created it. Woe unto him that striveth with his maker. Let the potsherds strive with the potsherds of the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou? All thy work, he have no hands. Woe unto him that says unto his father, what begettest thou? All to the woman, what have you brought forth? Thus says Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, and his Maker, ask me of things to come concerning my sons, and concerning the work of my hands command you me. I have made the earth, and created man upon it. I, even my hands, have stretched out the heavens, and all their hosts have I commanded. I have raised them up in righteousness, and I will direct all his ways. He shall build my city, and he shall let go my captives, not for price, nor reward, says Yahweh of hosts. Thus says Yahweh, the labor of Egypt, and the merchandise of Ethiopia, and of the Sabaeans, men of stature shall come over unto you, and they shall be yours. They shall come after you, in chains they shall come over, and they shall fall down unto you. They shall make supplication unto you, saying, surely Elohim is in you, and there is none else, there is no Elohim. Yes, you are a Elohim that hideth yourself, O Elohim of Israel, the Savior. They shall be ashamed, and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together that are makers of idols. But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. But thus says Yahweh that created the heavens, Elohim himself that formed the earth and made it. He have established it, he created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, seek you me in vain. I, Yahweh, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. Assemble yourselves and come. Draw near together, you that are escaped of the nations. They have no knowledge that set up the wood of their graven image, and pray unto a God that cannot save. Tell you, and bring them near. Yea, let them take counsel together. Who have declared this from ancient time? Who have told it from that time? Have not I, Yahweh? And there is no Elohim else beside me. A just Savior, a just Elohim, and a Savior. There's none beside me. Look unto me, and be you saved, all the ends of the earth. For I am Elohim, and there is none else. I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness, and shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Surely shall one say, in Yahweh have I righteousness and strength. Even to him shall men come, and all that are incensed against him shall be ashamed. In Yahweh shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory.
46 and 3.
Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb, and even to your old age I am he, and even to gray hairs will I carry you. I have made, and I will bear, even I will carry, and will deliver you. To whom will you liken me, and make me equal, and compare me, that we may be like? They lavish gold out of the bag, and weigh silver in the balance, and hire a goldsmith, and he maketh it a god. They fall down, yea, they worship. They bear him upon the shoulder, they carry him, and set him in his place, and he standeth. From his place shall he not remove. Yea, one shall cry unto him, yet can he not answer, nor save him out of his trouble. Remember this, and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O you transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am Elohim, and there is none else. I am Elohim, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executed my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it, I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it, I will also do it. Hearken unto me, you stout-hearted, that are far from righteousness. I will bring near my righteousness, it shall not be far, and my salvation shall not tarry, and I will place salvation in Judah for Israel, my glory.
Amen and amen. Chapter 51 and verse 1 through 52 and 15. 51 and verse 1 through 52 and 15.
All these things are already written down. God see each other mercy. The small of tongue on the earth.
Right.
No.
That's it, brother. Just what you said, that's just the way it's going to be. Regardless to what man thinks, regardless to what man want to believe, he's going to fulfill his word step by
Recompense and step, right down to the end. Why? To show man who God is. That's what it's all designed, to show man who God is. He didn't need us to represent it. He could have represented himself. But see, he raised us up so that he could use us to show man that he has the power. Regardless to what man does, he said, I gave my people into your hand. You didn't have no power over me. Say, who's going to set up the thorns and bars against me? I'm going through them. Say, you ain't doing none of this. I'm giving my people into your hand. So be not high-minded, but fear. But the adversary, the devil, is coming among the nations, say, look, you got this with your own hand. Look how much power you got. Right. Go on and read, sweet.
Isaiah chapter 51, verse 1. Hearken to me, you that follow after righteousness, you that seek Yahweh. Look unto the rock whence you are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence you are dead. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you. For I called him along, and blessed him, and increased him. For Yahweh shall comfort Judah, he will comfort all her waste places, and he will make her wilderness like Edom, and her desert like the garden of Yahweh. Joy and gladness shall be found therein, thanksgiving, and the voice of melody. Hearken unto me, my people, and give ear unto me, O my nation. For a law shall proceed from me, and I will make my judgment to rest for a light of the people. My righteousness is near, my salvation is gone forth, and mine arm shall judge the people. The owl shall wait upon me, and on mine arm shall they trust. Lift up your eyes to the heavens, and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment, and they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and and my righteousness shall not be abolished. Hearken unto me, you that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Fear you not the reproach of men, neither be you afraid of their revilings.
Just far ahead with the law. Remember he said, put the law in the heart.
That's one thing all of us is going to have written in our hearts and our minds, simply because Yahweh is a God of order. And all mankind is going to have to follow order. So that lets you know, when you look upon the earth and seeing what's going up on the earth today, you can find out that the earth is totally out of order. Why? Because Yahweh isn't in that. It's the adversary of the devil that's got things going on like it would like to shoot. Go ahead, man.
Verse 8. For the moth shall eat them up like a garment, and the worm shall eat them like wool. But my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of Yahweh. Awake, as in the ancient days, in the generations of old. Are you not it that have cut Rahab and wounded the dragon? Are you not it which have dried the sea, the waters of the great deep, that made the depths of the sea a way for the ransom to pass over? Therefore the redeemed of Yahweh shall return and come with singing unto Zion, and everlasting joy shall be upon their head. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away. Even I am he that comfort you. Who are you that you should be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the son of man which shall be made as grass, and forget Yahweh your maker that have stretched forth the heavens and laid the foundation of the earth, and have feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor? The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. But I am Yahweh, your Elohim, that divided the sea, whose waves roared. Yahweh of hosts is his name. And I have put my words in your mouth, and I have covered you in the shadow of mine hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Judah, you are my people. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which have drunk at the hand of Yahweh the cup of his fury. Thou have drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling, and wrung them out. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth. Neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she hath brought up. These two things are come unto you. Who shall be sorry for you? Desolation and destruction, and the famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort you? Your sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fear of Yahweh, the rebuke of your Elohim. Therefore hear now this, you afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus says your Adonai, Yahweh, and your Elohim that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of your hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. You shall no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict you, which have said to your soul, bow down that we may go over. And you have laid your body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. Awake, awake, put on your strength, O Zion. Put on your beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come in to you the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake yourself from the dust. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose yourself from the bands of your neck, O captive daughter of Zion. For thus says Yahweh, you have sold yourselves for naught. Verse 2, shake thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. Verse 3, for thus says Yahweh, you have sold yourselves for naught, and you shall be redeemed without money. For thus says the Adonai Elohim, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrians oppressed them without cause. Now therefore, what have I here, says Yahweh, that my people is taken away for naught? They that rule over them make them to howl, says Yahweh, and my name continually every day is blasphemed. Therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that does speak. Behold, it is I. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publishes good peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publishes salvation, that says unto Yehuda, your Elohim reigneth. Your watchmen shall lift up the voice. With the voice together shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye, when Yahweh shall bring again Yehuda. Break forth into joy. Sing together, you waste places of Jerusalem. For Yahweh have coveted his people. He have redeemed Jerusalem. Yahweh have made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our Elohim. Depart you, go you out from thence. Touch no unclean thing. Go you out of the midst of her. Be you clean that bear the vessels of Yahweh. For you shall not go out with haste, nor go by flight. For Yahweh will go before you, and the Elohim of Israel will be your real God.
Praise Yah.
Behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled, and be very high. As many were astonished at you, his visage was so marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. So shall he sprinkle many nations. The king shall shut their mouths at him. For that which had not been told them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider.
Okay, my brother, chapter 59 and 20 through chapter 62 and 12. 59, 20 through 62, 12. When we get through with this, you'll have 85% of the things that's going to take place right around the Messiah, when the Messiah first comes, and when he set up his kingdom on this earth.
Verse 20. And the Redeemer shall come to Judah, and unto them that turn from transgression in Yaakov, says Yahweh. As for me, this is my covenant with them, says Yahweh. My spirit that is upon you, and my words which I have put in your mouth, shall not depart out of your mouth, nor out of the mouth of your seed, nor out of the mouth of your seed, says Yahweh, from henceforth and forever. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But Yahweh shall arise upon you, and his glory shall be seen upon you. And the Euro-Gentiles shall come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your rising. Lift up your eyes round about, and see. All they gather themselves together, they come to you. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and your heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto you. The wealth of the Euro-Gentiles shall come unto you. The multitude of camels shall cover you. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of Yahweh. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto you. The rams of Nabob shall minister unto you. They shall come up with an acceptance on mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Who are these that fly as a cloud, and as the doves to their windows? Surely the owl shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring your sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahweh your Elohim, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified you. And the sons of strangers shall build up your walls, and their kings shall minister unto you. For in my wrath I smote you, but in my favor have I had mercy on you. Therefore your gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto you the wealth of the Euro-Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve you shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto you, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted you shall come bending unto you, and all they that despise you shall bow themselves down at the soles of your feet, and they shall call you the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas you have been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through you, I will make you an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. You shall also suck the milk of the Euro-Gentiles, and shall suck the breast of kings. And you shall know that I, Yahweh, am your Savior and your Redeemer, the mighty one of Yaakov. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make your officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in your land, wasting nor destruction within your borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and your gates praise. The sun shall be no more your light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto you. But Yahweh shall be unto you an everlasting light, and your Elohim your glory.
Praise Yah.
Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For Yahweh shall be your everlasting light, and the days of your mourning shall be ended. Your people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the works of my hand, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, Yahweh, will hasten it in his time. The spirit of the Adonai Elohim is upon me, because Yahweh have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh, and the day of vengeance of our Elohim, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, that he might be glorified. And they shall build the oasis, they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the son of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. But you shall be named the priest of Yahweh. Men shall call you the ministers of our Elohim. You shall eat the wealth of the Euro-Gentiles, and in their glory shall you boast yourselves. For your shame you shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. For I, Yahweh, love judgment. I hate robbery for burnt offering. And I will direct their work in truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them. And their seed shall be known among the Euro-Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which Yahweh hath blessed. I will greatly rejoice in Yahweh. My soul shall be joyful in my Elohim. For he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels. For as the earth bringeth forth her bud, and as the garden causes the things that are sown in it to spring forth, so the Adonai will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth before all the nations. For Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest, until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. And the Euro-Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory. And thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of Yahweh shall name. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of Yahweh, and a royal diadem in the hand of your Elohim. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate. But thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and thy land Beulah. For Yahweh delighteth in you, and your land shall be married. For as a young man marrieth the virgin, so shall your sons marry you. And as a bridegroom rejoice over the bride, so shall your God rejoice over you. I have set watchmen upon your walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. You that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silence, and give him no rest, till he establish and till he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Yahweh hath sworn by his right hand, and by the arm of his strength. Surely I will no more give your corn to be meat for your enemies, and the sons of the stranger shall not drink your wine, for the which you have labored. But they that have gathered it shall eat it, and praise Yahweh. And they that have brought it together shall drink it in the courts of my holiness. Go through the gates, prepare you the way of the people. Cast up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a standard for the people. Behold, Yahweh hath proclaimed unto the end of the world. Say you to the daughter of Judah, behold, your salvation cometh. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. And they shall call them the holy people, the redeemed of Yahweh. And you shall be called, sought out, a city not forsaken.
Okay, my brother, this is going to be the last piece of scripture we're going to read. Chapter 64, and verse 17 through 66 and verse 24. 64 and 17 through 66 and verse 24. Ain't 17 verses in there. Okay. Pick that up, my brother. Pick that up at 65 and 1. No, 65 and 17, bro. That's where I want you to start at 65 and 17 to 66 and 24.
Verse 17. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. But be you glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that have not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. And they shall build houses, and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build, and another inhabit it. They shall not plant, and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of Yahweh, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and thus shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, says Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you build unto me, and where is the place of my rest? For all those things have mine hand made, and all those things have been, says Yahweh. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor, and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrifices a lamb as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. I also will choose their delusions, and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. Hear you the word of Yahweh, you that tremble at his word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said, let Yahweh be glorified. But he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of Yahweh that rendereth recompense to his enemies. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child.
Right. 2,000 years before our pains came. Go ahead, brother. Sure. Sure. Everything was written from Genesis to Revelation before Adam was created. See, that's why I said in the beginning, all of us work for Yahweh. See, folks think they be doing their little stuff. They don't be doing their little stuff. They be doing what Yahweh. Go ahead, you go to work for Satan too. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 7. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who have heard such a thing? Who have seen such thing? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children.
As soon as that great tribulation come upon Zion, all that problem come upon Zion, what's going to happen? She's going to bring forth her children. It's during the great tribulation period that all nation, tongues, and languages are going to turn to the true and living God. Not before, but during the great tribulation period. This is why when you get in the book of Revelation, it was asked, who are these that came out of great tribulation? And who are these that are arrayed in white robe? And where did they come from? He said, these are they who came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb. Well, how did they get to hear that word? Through them brothers and sisters that don't do their job, that have to go through that great tribulation. That's how they're going to get it.
For the children being not yet born, with the purpose of
Right. That the elder shall serve the younger. Let you know in the beginning. All this is already preordained. The only thing we are doing as a people is going through the motion. But don't be high-minded, but fear. Because just like Yahweh caused us to come and hear this word, he can also turn your wisdom into foolishness. Go ahead and don't think, you come here, you're going to get this word and you're going to have you a sword to go out there and fight with. No. You get this word, you better go out there and you better talk and keep that sword put up, because everybody that you cut, what goes around comes around. That's why I tell folks, we learn a lot of things, but what happened is Jake don't study to be a warrior once he get this word. You just go out and get to cutting on folks. You have to learn what weapon to use at which time and when to use that specific weapon.
It could be overkill.
Right.
With that, we know the Gentiles are conquerors, and we were the first warriors, true warriors. So we done took on the Gentile images that's going out on to.
Whoa.
I'm saying, okay. If we were David, mighty warriors with David. We weren't like conquerors. We only went out to battle when Yahweh told us to go out. So, but the Gentiles are conquering people. They are of a conquering nation. And when we go out to do the Lord, Yahweh's work, we go out trying to conquer instead of to, entreat the people, entreat the word gently.
Right. We do it a lot of times. We do it the wrong way, brother. You have to. Sometimes it's best to use. Sometimes, brother, it's best to use an arrow instead of a cannon. Sometimes it's best to use a little penknife instead of a sword. See, it all depends on the situation and circumstances of the person that you're dealing with. But if you go up in somebody, it's just like going into a king's house. You don't go into his man and just walk up into his palace and get the killing off the king. What you do is you start out there. See, and it's the same thing with us. We have to start at a place to where what I used to do, brother, is this. I listen to a brother or sister, and I listen, and I listen. And I form my battle plan from what they say. You see, where their strength is, I leave their strength alone. I start with the weaknesses. So when he get up to where he think he got strength, he find that he didn't really have any strength at all. But it'll be the word would be more easily entreated than it would if I go up to him and say, "Man, you don't even know who God is, man. You worship Satan." See, then he gonna throw up a shield, ain't he? Okay, because nobody's going to let you come in the house and spoil their goods, brother, unless you first bind them. And the only way that you can bind them is start with the small things and work up to the big things.
One of the bigger things that person may feel invaded. Feel like
Right.
they're being invaded like a conqueror.
Right. You might have to even back off for a minute
Right.
and fake a retreat. Just to let him come out and do what he needs to do. Let him feel like he's in the war. You see, back off and let him come up on you. Go back and forth with you. You know you're gonna win in the end anyways, don't you? Okay.
I was thinking it's just like you learn martial arts, Push and push, they become hard and become soft. Push with a tight ship on the soft. So when you start to work, you start to be quiet.
Right.
Check, how to move and you get it flowing.
That's been Jacob's biggest problem. Jake don't know when to keep his mouth shut. Jake feel that he has to respond. No. It's a whole other thing. It's best not to respond to. Let folks go ahead and say what they got to say and get it on out of the way, and then you do what you got to do.
That comes from also until the knowledge of exercise. If you know the right thing, you know how to handle yourself.
Right.
When you first started,
Right. It's like going, you got to go to boot camp before you can get yourself.
Okay, you was thinking about the people that were arrayed in white robes, and they got their lashing because the slothful servants had to stay behind to teach them. Okay. So my question is, those that are in the wilderness are those who were diligent all along, from the baptism until we go into the wilderness?
Not necessarily. It's a lot of people gonna grab on just saying that once we get out of it. See, once the skill go down, when we get up out of here, it's a lot of people gonna start hearing what's going on. Simply because of the condition and circumstances. See, that's why they say he's gonna purge out from among you the rebels. You see, it's gonna be a lot of people that haven't even heard the word that's gonna get out there, and they're gonna know something's wrong, and they're gonna hear what's going on. And those are the ones that's gonna grab onto the God of Israel also. Not just everybody that leave here isn't gonna know what's going on. We ain't got enough time here to do all of that.
Because of those that were the slothful servants that were teaching those who were raised in light. Well,
those are the ones that ain't gonna make it into the secret place in the wilderness. And it's the reason for that. The man gave them. They were given 10 talents to occupy, right? To occupy those 10 talents. And when the owner came back and wanted his stuff would increase, they didn't have 10 talents. Right? They took it and put it on a napkin and said, "Oh, this is mine. I'm gonna keep this." Right? Take it from him and give it to the other one. So those are the ones that didn't do what they're supposed to do. Those are the ones who's not going to make it into the secret place from the house of Judah over here. Now, what's going to be happening to them brothers over there in the Middle East is dark. The whole book is dark on what's going to be happening to them. So, because like you said, growing honor to the Jew first, and that's to the house of Judah first. So this is the reason why we received it first. It ain't about walking around talking about I'm a lion tribe. No, you ain't. The lions are the one that's gathering these sheep out here. Go ahead, brother.
Is this Hebrews over there right now?
Where?
In Israel.
Yep, they gonna get killed off.
They don't never show that when they showing other folk.
Why? They're not Israelis. They're not Israelis. They're Israelites. They're Hebrews. They're not gonna show them. Show for what? Show for what? What are they doing? Nothing. What are they doing? Just in the land living, right? What are they doing? They're not doing anything. So why show them? Just to say, oh yeah, we got 3,000 people over here. Big deal. Big deal. They don't serve the true and living God. Okay, they got their Messiah flies around in the 747, don't they? Well, then they did the same shape our fathers was that got kicked out of the land, then, aren't they? Okay. Yeah, it's quite a few of them over there, bro. But see, Yahweh put us out of the land, and according to the scripture, we could not go back into the land of Israel until just before the Messiah comes.
Shalom comes.
When we get into the land of Israel, when we go into the land of Israel, right after we get into the city of Jerusalem, brother, all the nations will start getting together to come up and to destroy us. And how long do you think that's going to take? 3 months? 2 months? Because the armies and everything is already formed, and they already got the king. The only thing the king got to do is say, go up there and fight. See, ain't got to worry about putting the army together, you know. So whoever's in that land right now, brothers, in there illegally, and they're going to get killed off by the beast or the false prophet. Go ahead, sister.
So transport another 18,000 Colossians back into the land of Israel on that comment that you just made, too.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And what do they know?
Back to Israel, from Ethiopia.
Oh, okay.
And what do they know? Nothing. They don't know nothing about the Messiah. The only thing they know is that they're Beta Israel. That's all they know. They're Beta Israel. And most of them still use that symbol that Esau got, that he called the Star of David, and the Messiah is the Star of David. So, you know, Yahweh don't need us in the land. See, Yahweh need us out of the land to gather the lost sheep back to the land. He don't need it. When time come together, this is why I tell brothers, don't y'all worry about coming together and doing this and coming together and doing that, because it never happened, Captain. It haven't happened before, and it ain't going to happen now, so y'all can take that out of your mind. You see, the only time we're going to come together is when we get into the wilderness and point us one head and go up into that city and take that city. Pardon me? Of course. You purge out your rebels, bro. You know our rebels ain't gonna do nothing, brother. You be going to war and them rebels be back there trying to rip off your women and stuff.
Yeah, that's why they tell us, when you see the abomination in the holy place, that everybody in that land is fleeing. So why are they going back into the land?
Tell you one thing. Now look where they are. They're in Israel, right? Now when they start giving out that name, number, and mark, now they already depend on the people from Haifa and the people from Jerusalem for their supplies, right? What you think going to happen once that takes place?
They're going to be cut off.
Isn't a secret hiding place, isn't that in Israel?
In Israel? No, brother. No, that won't be in the land of Israel. That's in the land before you get to Israel. The wilderness is before you get to Israel. Remember when you went to, they didn't go into Israel until they went to the valley of Achor. Okay, so remember he said, and I'm going to give you the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there as she did before. Where? In the valley of Achor, right? That's when we first go into the land. That's after we appoint us one head and come up out of the wilderness and go. We know where we're going. We're going to take our holy city back. See, so that but the staging ground won't be in the land, brother. It's in the area, but it's right across. Remember, they had to cross the Jordan before they went into Jericho. Remember, where they went through the valley of Achor before they crossed the Jordan. Yeah.
So it won't just be the silver will teach the people, the 144,000 also teach the people, right?
Now, of course, well, not that 144,000, you're about maybe 12, 24, between 12 and 36,000. It all depends on how many people are over here from those other two tribes. Your command commander.
Commander-in-chief.
Your commander. David is going to be the prince in that kingdom. See, the kingdom is called a Davidic kingdom. So David is going to be the commander. He's going to be the one that command the army. When we go into when we get ready, before we go into the city, that's when he's going to raise up David to us. Okay, and that's who we're going to appoint, one head over us, and go in and take the city. Who took the city of Zion before? Okay. Go ahead and finish up.
Isaiah chapter 66, verse 9. Shall I bring to the birth and not cause to bring forth, says Yahweh? Shall I cause to bring forth and shed the womb, says your Elohim? Rejoice you with Jerusalem and be glad with her, all you that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, all you that mourn for her.
Do you love Zion? Huh? Do you love Zion, right? You love your land? Where's Hebron? Go on and read, man. Go on and read, man.
Verse 11.
Go on and read, man.
And you may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, that you may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus says Yahweh, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall you suck, you shall be born upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforted, so will I comfort you, and you shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And when you see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of Yahweh shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation toward his enemies.
Praise Yah.
For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Right, he's going to come with 10,000 chariots. 10,000 chariots. Chariots of angels. Go ahead, brother. Enoch told, who was it? Enoch, was that Enoch? Said that Yahweh's going to come with 10,000 of the saints up in Genesis? Okay, go ahead.
South. Even in South.
I know you ain't looking for that, brother. I just threw that out. Okay, I got another question for you. How far is the Mount of Olives from the city of Jerusalem?
2 days.
1 day. Right, 1 day. So y'all don't know about your land. Y'all talking about y'all love Zion. You ain't going to love Zion until you get over into Zion. You can believe that because ain't nobody going to sit down and do the research and see all about the cities and what was going on in the commerce and everything in the cities and so forth. Y'all ain't got time to do that. See, white folks got us jacked up too much. Go ahead and read, brother.
Verse 17. They that sanctify themselves. Verse 16, I'm sorry. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, says Yahweh. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the boat to Tubal and Javan, to the isles of Fall, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Euro-Gentiles. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto Yahweh, out of all nations, upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, says Yahweh, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yahweh. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, says Yahweh. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, says Yahweh, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Shabbat to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, says Yahweh. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorrent unto all flesh.
Amen and amen. As we see, brothers and sisters, Yahweh has there's going to be a gathering at the campground. The black folks would say, going to be a meeting at the campground. There is going to be a meeting at the campground, and we are going to sit down and feast on milk and honey. And the nations are going to come up and glorify the God of Israel